Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 16 of the Earthboys podcast. My name is Emmy,
And I'm Jaden.
and today it is raining like crazy. I thought it was going to be raining cats and dogs, but it's not. I was very sad because I want a cat. But anyways,
Dude, I've been waiting for a cat to find me for like years now.
I
Like
keep seeing them
cat
on the
distribution
internet.
Service.
It happens to a lot of people in the
Just
wild.
not me.
Just not me. I think you and I are just like, we just have to go to this
No,
kitty
I
store.
think it's just like you get one when you're supposed to get one. If that
Really?
makes sense. I think it's kind of like a
okay.
girlfriend.
Okay, in a way you're right, because I wanted a cat for so long, and then I kept talking shit, and then all of a sudden when I was at Macaroni Grill, one of my coworkers was like, "Hey yo, I'm moving out, and my little brother's going into the military, and my mom's moving into a smaller house, so we can't keep all the animals like we used to." They had two cats and two dogs in a small ass like 2-bedroom apartment. It was crazy.
Yeah, it
Because
probably
I went
smelled
over
awful
there.
in there.
Yeah, it smelled like shit. And so they was like, yeah, we're trying to. My mom wants to keep the dogs, but the two cats, like, we can't keep them. Like, I can't keep them,
Damn, bro, the cat's got the fucking.
dude. And so I was like, so what? Like, you're keeping a dog, and then she's keeping a dog, and then your brother obviously is going into the military, so he can't take an animal with him. He was like, yeah, I just, we had to pick. It's like, man, that sucks. So I was like, well, let me see pictures of this cat. Let me see. Maybe I can help you find somebody who is willing to adopt it, right? Like that. It was a pretty unique situation, and so I seen the picture of Frankie, the little cat, and I just seen like all the hair, like big as fuck, like around her face. She just looked like a
Did
little.
she look angry in the photos? Like
She looked
normally
really
does?
mad and like a little woolly mammoth, like with a long ass hair everywhere. Yeah, just mad as fuck. And she looked tiny too. It's like, aw, low key, bro. Let me ask, and I'm pretty sure I can adopt it. He was like, no way, no way. I was like, yeah. Let me ask, and we'll see. And because I was staying at my parents' house for a while, and I didn't know how long I was gonna be staying there, because this was before I moved to Oregon, and it was right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
So this was like October of 2018, I guess, and so the time came, it was on Christmas time. Finally convinced my parents. I was like, let's just try it,
Yeah.
New cat, whatever. Let's just try it. She seems very chill, whatever.
Wait, the cat's from here?
The cat's from here, yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was from Oregon or
No,
wherever.
it was from here.
Oh, what the hell?
And so I brought the cat over like around just before Christmas time, like first week of December. And by the first or second week of the new year, the cat finally got used to the house, and then that's when the cat started, coming out and screaming at us and showing her
And then
little
your
personality.
Parents like, no, we don't want the cat, and now it's like their only thing that they love.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they were very adamant against any animals, but I was like, look, just wait till you see it. Just wait till it lives in the house for a month, and you'll see its patterns and its habits, and then you can decide.
Yeah.
Then you can decide. So then after a month, 2 months, she started having her little routine in the morning. She'd get used to certain parts of the house, and
Yeah.
then my mom was like, okay, I get it now. The cat doesn't jump on the counters. Awesome. The cat doesn't like sleep on everyone's clothes. Awesome. Cat only chills in like her little, designated spaces, and then she tells you when she wants to eat, and that's it. Super simple. My parents obviously ended up, loving the cat.
Oh, yeah, because of that big ass house, just the two of them.
Yeah, so now it's like now they have like a little baby running around that like screams every now and again, So like my parents get that stimulation of like caring for something small. It's like always gonna stay small, and it'll always look like a baby. So
Wait, well, what was the cat you were hanging out with in Oregon before you moved back recently, when you were sleeping in the hallway? 'Cause everything was moved
there was
out.
two of them. One of them, his name is Balder. He's like a tuxedo cat, like black and white. That was.
But he was gone before the move, though. No.
He was gone before the move because he went to
Who was
live.
the last one though?
That was no name cat. It was
Whatever happened to him?
It was a calico. It was a girl. She got adopted by someone that I worked with at an old
Okay,
restaurant.
okay. Because I do remember you sending me a photo of you like literally sleeping in a hallway with like the steps pretty much at your feet, and it just looked like you were a squatter. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, what happened? What happened was at that point Balder was already gone, but this one, I didn't give her a name because I was just fostering, so I didn't want to get like that attachment by calling it something. So I had to raise her for a couple months, and she was so cute. But just certain kittens have like a little too much energy, and she was just like literally bouncing off the walls, like not even as for the expression, like actually like kicking the wall and like bouncing off of it as she would run up the stairs. Like always wants to be on every counter, always wants to be like in the business of everything. And
Jesus.
there's like a limit, you know what I mean? Like, so I knew I wasn't gonna that personality didn't vibe with me 100%. So I knew that I wasn't gonna keep the cat. So that one I just gave away.
So it makes you want a cat when your roommate has like fucking, was it three?
3.
Three?
Well, I mean, right now the cat itch is scratched because there's 3 cats in the house.
Oh, okay.
One of them super huge. He doesn't go into anybody's room except his room, and then
Well, like most of them are scared, right? And then there's just the
no,
one is like
no, it's
kinda
just
timid,
the
right?
one 2D, which is the big gray one. He just has like there's certain scenarios where he gets anxious and he gets
Uh-huh.
anxiety. He gets a little freaked out and then he pukes, just because of like the stress, But
Uh,
Winnie, she's just skittish. Like
she's just a typical skittish cat. Plus, she's like some branch off from like a Siamese, which those already kind of have shit personalities as is.
she's just
So it's like
she talks quite a bit, but the thing is, she's skittish at first. Once she recognizes that you're not gonna chase her down and like obviously do anything to her,
that shit makes me want to chase them. Though,
I know
try to
it
fucking,
makes you
like-
want to fuck with them more, which
because
is
you're just
funny.
like, listen, dork.
You're like,
Leave them up. Hey, give me your lunch money, dog.
and you go reach for the pouch, and
Yeah,
they're like,
bro.
eh. So, anyways, yeah, like so.
And then the orange one's more the chillest one, right?
He's the absolute chillest one,
Yeah, that dude's a fucking unit.
and he comes into my room like almost every other day. He like knocks at the door, and I let him in, and then he'll either sit on like my chair, and he'll watch whatever I'm watching. He'll like sit on the backside so I can lean back, and he has like the little space, or he'll squeeze next to me, or he'll sit on my lap, and we'll just watch TV for like an hour or two, and then he wants to leave, or he just sits on my window, and he'll just look out my window. I'll crack it so he can get the fresh air, and he'll just sit there, and then we just chill for about a couple hours, and then he leaves whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
But yeah, cats are awesome. I love those little things.
Nah.
You'll get your own. Like, I bet you it'll be
Honestly,
a neighbor's.
I say I want one, but I genuinely don't want to deal with like the hair and the fur and shit. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
like not having an animal for so long.
you get used to
I know
not
this is
dealing
gonna
with
get me
it.
so much smoke, but like, I think it's gross when you see girls that like have their dogs and shit and like sleep in their beds, and I'm like, ew, bro. Like,
Really, I mean,
it grosses me out.
it's
Honestly.
different when
Cats are different.
It's
but
a different
dogs
when
is-
it's a dog.
They have to be cleaned, which is they don't clean themselves.
they don't. I mean, they do clean themselves, but you can still clean them more because they're not gonna get everything. But it for me, the dog thing is like it has to depend on the dog, and it has to really depend on if I fuck with the dog or not. Because let's say in this scenario, like if I had been someone in the past that had a big ass dog and the big ass dog wanted to sleep on the bed, I'd be like, no way, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna deal with this shit.
I'd walk out. I'd
That's
be like,
that's annoying.
Hey, I gotta go bathe my fish. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
And I just not come back.
if it was a small, like let's say it was like a Chihuahua or like something small, you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
it was kind of like manageable, and it wasn't like a dog that was always going out and getting stinky and shitting and pissing and being in the dirt and whatever
Yeah.
outside. Okay, maybe the dog will probably sleep at your feet. It's not a big deal. It's not under the covers.
Yeah.
All right, I guess. Like I can see that
But no,
scenario
people
being
have,
the
like normal sized dogs, and
but like
it
a
runs
lab,
around.
but like let's say a lab was like one of those that needed to be like in under the covers in between you and the other person. I'm like, get the fuck out of here,
That's
bro.
gross.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because also it's like dogs are like dirtier than cats, and the fact that dogs will not survive without humans, in a sense, because like they need so much care.
some
Where-
dogs could
whereas
survive.
like yeah, like a wolf could survive. What dog
I've
have you
seen-
seen recently that'll survive?
I've seen some strays that seem pretty healthy, but then again, you are right because they only stay healthy because other people feed
Other
them.
people feed them, or other people groom them to some degree.
As far as cats go, they couldn't give a fuck if you were alive or dead.
Yeah,
and
well,
they could
I mean,
live either
even
way.
then, every cat could pretty much live on its own till something bigger comes and eats it. But other than that, like cats are chilling on their own. But
Yeah.
even then, like a complete outdoor cat, like even when my cats would go outdoors and shit, I wouldn't let them like in my room like that. You know what I mean?
No, because they still
'Cause,
have
they're
like
still tracking in dirt.
they
or
have that
fleas or
extra
whatever.
outside filth.
Yeah, that's gross.
You know.
Like, honestly, I see, like, certain things where it's like, okay, yeah, like, you live your life, you know, but I just know that I don't want to be in that scenario.
Yeah.
Where, like, this person has... I feel like there's also, like, a pet limit into a house, right? So, like...
there has at some point there has to be a pet limit. I think more than 3, you're like really pushing it.
I honestly, like... Okay, so let's talk your parents' house.
It just depends on the size of the place.
Let's use your parents' house as an example, since it's mostly hardwood floors somewhere and
Which
tile.
tile,
There's, like,
yeah.
no carpet in your
No
house, right?
carpet. Yeah,
No
yeah.
carpet. That bitch must be cold in the winter, huh?
It is very cold.
I like your parents' house. That's really nice. Like, the fact that they have one tiny little cat, albeit that it's a long-haired cat, but, like, obviously, clearly the house is upkept. You don't smell the cat.
No.
Like, you wouldn't walk into your parents' house and be like, there's an animal here.
Right.
Whereas, like, I just don't like it when you walk into someone's house.
Instantly
And
smell it.
And, like, the dog or, like, the too many cat smell hits you in the face. You're
Oh.
like, to me, it just, like, adds the next level of, like, lack of sanitation.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to get a lot of hate on this side of the podcast if any animal lovers are listening to this.
Yeah.
But still, like, have you ever heard that saying, like, you can't, there's a reason why you can't eat at everyone's house, or you shouldn't eat at everybody's house?
Right.
Like, there's certain people that I've known that, like, they allow the animals to, like, walk where you prep food,
Oh,
sleep
right.
on the counters, or whatever. Or they have, like, 3 different cat boxes that are never clean. I'm like, this is crazy.
All you smell is the cat litter and like
Dude, no.
the fossilized cat shit inside.
Yeah, and then the
That's
fact
crazy.
that sometimes cats spray random places and it just never comes out. And, like, you know me, I wear a lot of, like my primary jeans are black. So it's like,
Yeah.
if I sit down at your house and I walk out looking like Chewbacca, no.
No, luckily, my parents' cat is hypoallergenic. Excuse me, cat. So she doesn't shed like crazy. You don't see like lumps of hair.
Like,
Like
obviously,
you
her
would.
little bed where she lays at the foot of your parents' bed,
It's
like, obviously
probably-
that had a little bit of fur in it, but, like, that's fucking normal, you know?
That's normal. And the cat doesn't track hair like all over. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't fall off when you grab it the way it would another cat.
Yes.
It only comes off when you brush her or when you be
Yeah.
actually petting her a lot. Then
See,
you,
that's sick.
Then you have a little bit on your hand and you're like, okay, I can wipe this off.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. But she doesn't track like hella dirt or like hella fur, which is nice. The only thing is she goes outside a lot. Like she spends several hours outside.
Yeah.
So if it's wet outside and she comes back inside, you see like the tiniest little like bean,
streaks.
little tiny bean prints on the ground with the water. So my parents now what they do is when she comes inside, my dad will grab her and she'll go,
Yeah.
and she like sticks her feet out like this. And she knows. And my mom comes and like washes her like wipes her hands and feet with a little towel.
Yeah.
They have the kitty towel now.
That's hilarious.
And so they use only that towel to like wipe her little feet. And then she like spreads her toes out like this. And my parents wipe her in between the beans and gets all the water out. And then they put her down and she like scuttles off into the
That's funny.
into the shadows.
But yeah, no, I like, dude. Like, if I was like, say this girl was like, the girl, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I go over to her house and she has like 3 big dogs, like, no.
Are you just you being like, hey, I got to use the bathroom, and you walk to the front door and then you leave
No. I'm gonna go in the bathroom, we'll lock the door, and
and
squeeze
jump out
through
the window?
door,
Jump
or
out the
screech through
window. Yeah.
Just close the window, so now she has to unlock it. Somehow.
You just like you get in there, you realize the window's just big enough for you to get through. You're like, all right, this is my chance.
Yeah.
You take your shirt off, wrap it around your hand. Bash! You don't even open the window. You just break it. You know, you clear it all out with your hand, and then you put your shirt back on. You jump through. She's like, why did I just hear glass breaking? Opens the door as like your feet are the last thing falling out.
doing a like a
Yeah,
little,
the
like
kicking,
a flutter kick,
the
like
flutter
I'm swimming.
to push yourself through. Then she hears the thud. You're like, fuck, shit, bah. Sees you get up and like because at this point you know the bathroom window's a little like taller, so you're like at eye level with the window as you're like looking through. You're like,
I run
And you
do
dip.
the Dukes of Hazzard slide across the hood of my car and get it. A super unnecessary just because she has dogs.
just get out of there.
Okay, so
But 3 big dogs, dude. That to me,
what about like a
Deal
husky?
breaker.
What if they had a husky?
ew, dude.
I
Deal
wanna hear
breaker.
your-
No.
What are your thoughts on this made up scenario?
You know that I just despise huskies with every fiber of my... Dude, it's literally... That's going to rile me up now. I do not like huskies.
Say you get in the house and like you're like, okay, cool. Like obviously respects to your fiance. This is a total like made up scenario. Say you get to this person's house and then they're like the second you walk in the door, you like the date went good or whatever, and then you hear and and it's like two huskies,
Dude,
and they're fucking both running in circles and running into shit. And then as you close the door, you notice that the door, like where the hinge, where like it closes, is all like gnawed up, kind of.
honestly, dude, if that was me in that scenario, genuinely, unironically, I would go on the second date, and then after the second date, when I'd bring her back, she'd be like, "Do you want to come in?" I'd be like, "Actually, I don't think I want to see you again," and then I would leave.
Why would you wait till the second date? No. You wait for the second, and then she pays for the date.
Well, that's what I mean.
Let's
Like,
go. All right, yeah.
she either pays or you split or something. I don't know, but just get another date out of it. But just don't go back. Just don't go back inside, dude.
So why do you hate huskies?
They just, everybody has things that they dislike. That is one of my top probably 5 or 10 things that I despise. And the reason being, and I don't hate all dogs. It's just because they're so high maintenance. They're so unnecessary, loud, and annoying. And 3, they're just smart enough to know what pisses you off. Like, they just know. They know better. They're smart dogs. They know that, like, being loud and tearing up the house and shit, like, it's going to get your attention. It's going to get a reaction out of you. That's why they do it. It's insane. Like, all those videos I see or posts that I see, they're like, me and my husband went on vacation for 2 weeks, came back, and the husky,
God.
and look how much the husky missed us. And it's like, literally looks like a hurricane ran through their house.
Yeah, like the furniture's all tore up. Like, you remember you've sent me videos where, like, the dog is literally chewing on the wall. You know, like, what doors are?
Ripping the things off the door.
I know it's called baseboard and crown molding when it's on the roof or on the floor and then the ceiling.
Yes.
But, like, it's literally like the door trim, I guess you could say.
Yeah, the door trim itself.
The dog is literally mauling the door trim and pulling it fucking off.
Like, and everything is shredded. There's wood and pieces of shit everywhere. Like, the clothes are ripped up.
Yeah.
Everything's knocked over. Like, the couch cushions are ripped the fuck up.
Like, who sees that and goes, "Oh, I missed my dog.
Oh, you're so cute. You must have missed me." It's like, dude, this is literally an old Yeller situation. Where's the double-barreled shotgun?
Yeah,
Let's go out back. I'd be like, "Honey, I went to the store and got us some meat."
Bro, honestly, it would take something smaller than that just
No.
to send me. Like, say I came back and, like, I
That's
don't know,
crazy.
the dog had, like, say these shoes, for example. They're not really expensive at all.
No, but you like them.
Standard, like, $80
But you really
shoes.
like those shoes.
They're whatever. Honestly, I don't love them since
Oh,
they're
okay.
so fucking widespread now. For shoe people, we're talking about pandas.
But if so, okay.
But, like,
Nike-
if
Nike
I came
panties?
back and, like, the dog had even slightly chewed on the front of it, just to the fact where, like, I have to wear it daily and people go like, "Oh, what happened to your shoe? It looks like you got fucking caught in a grinder or whatever." I just be like, the dog's got to go.
Yeah.
This
Like,
is
if you
like-
woke up and, like, the 3 shoes you keep at the bottom of the stairs were, like, decimated,
It would honestly, it would even take just one of my shoes being tested.
you'd be like, "Fuck, my panties!"
I'd just be like, "All right, the dog's got to go." Like, there's no debate. Because, like, at that point, if you
Yeah.
draw the line early, you're saving so much money in the long run before he gets to, like, maybe your MacBook cable cord, maybe your Xbox controller. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe,
dude, yeah.
maybe your fucking, I don't know, maybe whatever things that dogs get their hands on. Maybe, like, your AirPods, you can't find them, and then the,
The
dog's
whole
just
thing is
fucking
they just were
cracking 'em.
chewing on them, like, the
Yeah.
whole day.
Bro's over here hitting them like,
You know,
chewing those little fucking
I just
poppers.
couldn't have the patience for an animal like that.
No.
Too much chaos.
No.
I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, your tolerance level is low." It's like, yeah, you're damn right it is.
Yeah.
That
I'm
shit's
okay with that.
annoying. That shit would piss me off. I don't
Yeah.
want to deal with that situation. I know better. But then
Normal
again, that's
things to my day to day life piss me off enough to where, like, I'm not gonna come home and have something.
you know, I'm just a bitter, angry old man at this point.
Hey, bro.
With white hair.
I'm
so.
packing it up with you. Yeah, I found one gray hair the other day.
But to me,
I'm
it's
ready.
like, I don't discount all dogs because I know that there are chill dogs out there.
Mhm.
So I try to keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Because I know at least in certain scenarios, it's like I'll only see the dog 1 time, 2 times maximum if
Yeah.
necessary. So it's not like the end of the world. But if I was in a situation where, like, let's say this person or whatever that I was with that had a big ass dog, I couldn't commit to a big ass dog. I'm sorry.
It would just seem too much.
It's just too much. Like, but a smaller dog or like
Like, if you had a chill wiener dog, I'd be like, all right, cool, whatever.
okay, whatever,
Short haired chill wiener dog. Chill.
whatever. Yeah,
Just don't be jumping up. I don't want to watch you try to jump.
like like a boxer.
back is like-
Like a boxer would be fine. Like something small. What's a pug would be fine. Like
A pug?
Like,
You tolerate a pug?
well, pug would be okay.
They're only like cute or whatever when they're in their first like 2 years of life. After that, they just look like they're
They just look like they're suffering.
yeah.
They literally just look like
looks
they're
it's
suffering.
painful for them to just be chilling, which
Right.
I'm assuming to some degree it is.
All this, they can barely breathe, and like they get so little oxygen that their brain is like probably very small. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's just certain dogs, that I automatically are like, the chances of you being chill are a lot higher than another dog. So
Yeah.
like, for example, when I lived in Oregon, our friends, right?
Uh-huh.
They had a white lab,
Oh god.
and this lab, dude, was so dumb. Like, it was the dumbest of the dumb. Like, they could not have picked a dumber dog.
Yeah.
It just like,
Well, I mean, labs and like stuff like that in general. Like labs, I don't know what the fucking blonder looking one is or the darker ones, whatever. All the spectrum of labs or whatever.
yeah.
They're too hyper in the first 5 years. It makes them unlikable. They chew on shit, and like what? Keep going about like
Well,
whatever
yeah,
the dog would do.
yeah. Well, they chew on shit. They're very hyper, and they don't know boundaries. They don't know what boundaries are.
Yeah.
They always have to be in your face. They always have to be like in the situation. Like, they can't just leave it alone. They can't just be sitting minding their business. They have to be like, oh, what's going on here? Like, something
Yeah.
must be happening. It's like, dude, back off, chill. What the fuck?
And it's because most people don't train their dogs to any degree. They
No.
think, oh, I'm gonna spoil it, and then the dog thinks, oh, they're here for me. I'm not here for them.
Yeah, this behavior is acceptable, so I'm gonna act this way because they think it's cute and I get rewarded for it. So
Yes.
it's just like, it just comes down to how you train your animal, whatever. But, anyways, yeah, these roommates had a white lab, and he was like cream of the crop dumb. Like this dog was just
Bro helped write the book on dumb.
like, this dog could have gone to the Olympics as the stupidest dog and won. Like, that's a very real scenario here. But this dog had Giardia for 2 fucking months straight, almost 3 months. Like,
Oh, is that what it was? It was diarrheaing all over the house, right?
yeah, it was like 8 weeks.
Because like, how did it get that? It was just
So
licking
what
floors
happened?
and
Yeah, what
shit?
happened was it was a pup, probably about like 4 months old at this point, 4 or 5 months old, and it was snow. It was during the winter time, so it was obviously snowing. There's a lot of snow on the ground, but the snow sits on the ground
Yeah.
until it melts.
And then it becomes
So
basically
it has
just like a slush
and it's on the
mud.
ground, so it has bacteria in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just shit and dirt and whatever. It's got bacteria in it. So they would let him out into the front yard, and he would be sitting out there for a couple hours, and he'd just eat the snow like an idiot, and then he would shit himself, and then it would go away. Like, it would be just barely going away. They'd let him out again. He'd eat more snow. He'd shit again for a couple days, and then he'd be fine. He'd about to be okay, and then they let him out again. He'd eat more snow. He just kept doing it. The dog was fucking, just didn't learn. And then he would have that look on his face like, oh, my tummy hurts. Sorry, I just shit in 6 places around the house because I can't control myself and stop eating snow. Other people chiming in right now as they're listening. It's not the dog's fault. The dog doesn't know any better. You're being so mean. It's like, no, dude.
Yeah.
First of all, after the first time it happens and you figure out why it happened, okay, the dog goes out supervised. So I'm not leaving it out there unsupervised.
Yeah.
It's going outside to pee, to poop, and then it's going back inside. That's it. I'm not going to let it eat the snow. Not going to let it drink any still water out there.
Was it a
It was crazy.
was it a long haired or a short haired?
It was a short-haired
Short-haired?
white lab.
Yeah.
And it stunted its growth, like losing its body weight so much for so many weeks at
Oh,
a
I
time.
bet. Yeah.
It like stunted its growth. So the dog, it wasn't even like, labs are pretty large.
Yeah,
It wasn't
they're
even like
a decent like.
it was like a
dog.
medium lab.
Yeah.
Like, it stayed kind of mini. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Really?
yeah.
Do
It
they
stayed
still have
kind-
it?
Yeah, they still have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Still shitting all over the house.
So it was
I wonder?
like they like unknowingly made a small lab, like a mini lab. Not that they were
They
trying to
might be
get
onto
there.
something. No, I'm just kidding.
Not that they were trying to get there, or like they were just abusing the animal. It's just what happened. Like, unfortunately, the dog is just dumb, and it just kept doing the same thing. Whatever. We got over it, but the dog. But the moral
My
of the
favorite
story
story
is
about
that the dog is
is
dumb.
when you dropped your chicken.
Dude, fuck off. That story still haunts me to this day. All right, guys, listen.
I remember when you told me this story, dude. I was literally like, like it was worse than like a full on ab workout. I
Bro,
was
no.
crying.
Hear me out, everyone. Unironically, this literally I could feel, and this is not an exaggeration, a lot of people say this when they're mad, I could actually feel the color, the pigment leave my follicles of my hair as they were turning white. Like, that's how upset I was in that moment. I could feel each individual follicle of hair change color.
It was getting zapped.
Dude, it was so upsetting.
Turning white.
So it was one of those days where, like, I didn't really get to eat at work because it was kind of busy, so we are like moving, and I just didn't have a couple minutes to sit down and do my thing. So at the end, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take some chicken home, and we had these chicken, like, little mini cutlet things that we'd prep, and it's probably about like 4.5 ounces of chicken. So, like, you can imagine what that size of chicken looks like. It's like a small little piece.
Yeah.
And I had 3 pieces. Yeah, I had like 3 pieces in one box, and then I had like.
But also remember that was like the couple weeks where you try to eat like a little bit cleaner,
Yeah,
and a little more protein because
right,
you're working out a little bit,
right. Yes,
So already then, like, everybody knows that meal preps are X, Y, and Z, or
they're
on some
serious.
type of diet. Like, you know that the food you're eating isn't great, but you have to eat it because at this point it's like a fuel.
It's like a
So
fuel.
like you're
Yeah,
not stoked to eat it anyways, but it's the only thing you're gonna be eating.
right, and it's chicken. It's like just only has salt and
Bleh.
pepper on it. It's
Yeah.
like bland grilled chicken.
Bland. You got to drink a bunch of water. To,
You gotta
like,
drink it. Yeah,
survive.
so it's like I was probably into this regimen. I was maybe like 3-4 weeks in, and I was like just at the point where my body was now like used to just having chicken all the time, and it was one of those like, here we go. Here's what I'm gonna have when I get home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it is what it is, and so I get home and I was like, wasn't too thrilled about having 3 pieces of chicken. But I had gotten myself excited on the way home to eat. So I was kind of happy that I had my food. And I was like, you know what? It could have been worse. Like, I'm going to get home, turn on the Xbox, get on the party chat with the boy, and just have some chicken. Like,
Because like at that point, that was like what we like. I mean, not that we don't do it today. Like, obviously we're a little more busy now, but back then it was like the only thing we did every night was like, you get off work, I get off work, we both hop on
for 2-3 hours.
2-3
like,
hours,
that
play
was
games
it.
through the night or whatever, because that's the only time we're able to chill.
Yes.
And so I'm waiting. I'm waiting. He texts me, all right, I'm heading up the steps.
No, it was so bad, dude.
10 minutes go by, which is odd for Emmy because when he gets on, he's right away on.
I'm on
So I was like, all right, this
immediately.
is kind of odd.
Yes. And so then I called him, just like looking like I was about to cry. Dude could not hold back his laughter. He was like trying to hold it together the best he could, falling apart at the seams. I'm sitting there looking like a kid about to cry. And he was like, what happened? It's like, well, I was walking up the stairs, dude. Listen. And I had the 2 boxes of to-go food that I had. I had just microwaved the chicken, and I had a salad underneath. And I had the open box of chicken on top of the box of salad as I was walking up the stairs. And something tripped me. I don't know what it was, but I was walking up a little too fast, and the box of chicken started to slide off the top of all my shit that I had. And in slow motion, I could hear like the old classical like tragic music playing as I was witnessing the chickens fall from the box and fall off of the stuff that I had. They landed on the staircase, and in my panic, I did one of those like where you instinctively reach out for something that's falling like really as fast as you can to try and catch it. I basically missed the piece of chicken I was going after, and it hit the step. And I immediately went to grab it, but I was moving so fast that I squished it with my hand, and like the force of my fingers like completely destroyed it, and it came out from the space between my fingers like loose skin, and it had dog hair on it, cat hair on it. All my pieces of chicken were fucking ruined, bro.
As long as you were probably palming them too, like, you know how when you pick something up, it's usually with just your fingers, but like
No, dude, I full on like
palm fingers,
like
wrapped
it
around.
touched the whole surface of the inside of my hand as I smashed it into the step, and then when I pulled it up like really fast, and I was already squishing it, so it was just a ruined piece of chicken. I saw from the light of the stairs that it was just like covered in fucking dog hair and cat hair.
Oh, that's so gross.
So it was just like wasting all my fucking food, dude. And like I hadn't eaten, and that I had already set my mind and hyped myself up to eat this protein, to have this meal, and then it's just fucking ruined with animal hair. So I got on right after, like, this 10 minutes passed. I was so mad, dude. I couldn't even speak. And time passed. I was sitting in my chair, mad as fuck. And then finally I called Jaden. I was like, all right, get the fuck on right now.
Did you ever end up door dashing anything at least, or
I
did
think
you
I
go to bed
didn't. I
hungry
think I
that
ended
night?
up getting like McDonald's or something that night because I
Okay.
was so fucking mad.
It was some Sprite or something. Oh my god.
It was just like seeing the fucking dude, like that's my fucking food. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and
Well,
it's
one,
just
it's so, like dropping it in general would like piss you off, but the fact that there was just like the added bit of like
it's
it literally
unsavable.
looks like fuzzy now. You're
It's
just like,
unsavable. It's not even like, oh, you dropped it, it hit the ground, and like you snatched it up in like 0.1 seconds.
yeah,
So it's like,
it
okay.
literally bathed in the floor.
I was like, okay, let me wash it off with the sink water for 2 seconds. I'm like, I'm not gonna think about it. I'm just gonna eat it and call it a day.
Yeah,
It wasn't. It wasn't even like salvageable, dude. It was like
Yeah.
the second felt that I lost the balance, and I seen them tumbling through the air in slow motion. I knew it was game over. I was like, it's fucked.
because think about it. Also, you gotta think about how long you had it for. The fact is like even when the like a kitchen is open, you had to get it then, whatever the food was,
Yeah.
before you close everything down, do your side work, clock out, get in your car, drive home, get home, microwave it, do your thing, take your shoes off, whatever, and then walk up the steps. Literally, that chicken was probably waiting 2 hours to be eaten.
It was like an hour and a half waiting to
Easily.
be eaten. And like I
Easily
was
an hour
thinking
and a half.
about it, you know,
Yes.
because I saved it, portioned out my stuff, picked out the nicest pieces of chicken too, put them in the fridge, wrote my name on it, closed the whole restaurant. I was like, this is like, it was in my mind already, like the list of things that I had to do.
Plus,
it was
you're already
like
tired from work, and you're probably sore from the workout, or somewhat exhausted from previous
from
workouts.
that shift. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
hilarious.
That, and I still think about it to this day, like how upset it made me.
Sometimes when I'm just doing shit, I'll think about it, and I'll start dying by myself.
Like you just imagine when I realized how hard I was grabbing the piece of chicken, and then I realized immediately afterwards how covered in hair it was, and then following after the wave of disappointment that I had to deal with.
So the dog is an L. Dropping the chicken was an L.
Dude, nice place to live in. I'll give them that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I had to, because
No, they weren't apartments. What were they?
it was a townhome.
Townhomes. So because like you share
Because they
the
were,
wall with a
we shared a wall with two other units.
Oh, you guys were like a center unit.
No,
I mean,
well,
amazing.
No. We were actually we were the edge unit, so we didn't. No. We weren't the edge unit. Sorry, we had two people on either end, but the lady who lived she was the end of the row basically, she was the end of the building. She was hardly ever home, and like didn't make any noise, so we didn't even know that they were in there. There was the other neighbors were the ones that were fighting. Remember, I got that recording.
Dude,
That's another juicy
Okay,
ass
first of all,
story.
really nice neighborhood. I thought the place looked nice. It had green grass, parking spots. It was like, honestly, it looked dope.
Dude, it was a brand new development, and like it wasn't like, you know, you move in and you get the first wave of people that get the new houses, and then they're kind of douchebaggy
Yeah.
when you move in. Everyone was so nice, dude. Such a nice person, except the people who lived next door to us. That couple would fight like every night. You could hear them fighting. You know what I mean? Like, and it was sad. Like, it was just sad to.
No. It is sad to the extent where like two people hate each other that much, but they're either financially forced together or they're too scared to enter the world by themselves.
Exactly. And so
But,
it's like the situation, okay, you could look at, I first started looking at it and it was like, that's kind of sad. But then where it gets kind of funny, it's not funny.
It's two child adults that realize they can't not be with each other, but then they don't want to do better for themselves. So it's kind of one of those things where you can feel bad to the extent, but then to the level of like if they're not trying to better their own lives,
Then it's like you
then
can't
it's
do
like,
anything
well,
about it.
like you're mad about making yourself a shit sandwich that you're having to eat.
That you're having to eat. Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
rather
yeah.
than be without food for a day or two and then go find something better.
That's true.
And that's literally what it is. I mean, obviously, it's way simpler than that. It's way more complicated than that. I'm just simplifying it. But to the level of, like, people just don't want to improve their own lives.
100%.
So, like, this is why we laugh about certain things. Because
Yes.
now it's like, this is like a TV show now.
Yeah, it's almost like too ridiculous to
Yeah.
even be real, but it
Yeah.
is real. And there was just a night where they had some people over, and I remember one of the roommates, she called me from the bottom of the stairs, and I was like, what? She's like, come here. So I go run down there. They're like, listen. And so we cracked the front door open, and we could hear that there was like, it wasn't just like the normal arguing, like I guess what we would normally hear through the wall.
Yeah.
It was like actual shouting and like It was about to be
Like
like
psychotic.
it was about to be like all hands are being thrown on, like it was about to reach that level. And then I got my phone out and we were standing right there, and I crept up into the patio like right next to the fence, and I held the phone up to record, and then all of a sudden I like hear contact, like somebody got punched amidst all the yelling. So now the yelling is amplified 10 times more than what it already was, and
Yeah.
it started spilling outside.
Yeah.
And then I heard the guy was yelling at the two girls that were outside, and then another dude came out and was like trying to get everyone to calm down, and then you hear the punch and then more screaming, and then the front door slammed.
So in brackets, it was blows landing.
Blows landing. And then I heard oh my god, she's bleeding everywhere. I was like, what the fuck? So the girl was the one who got hit. That's crazy.
Jesus.
And so they were like, oh, someone call the police, blah, blah. And at that point they were outside screaming so much that somebody
called the police.
Somebody had actually called the police. So at that point I was like, I'm gonna go back inside. So we went back inside, and we're kind of listening through the front window, and they kept fighting. Dude came back out and kept yelling obscenities, and then we heard more rustling and shouting, and then finally dude was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go inside, slammed the door, and then the three other people remained outside. And then that's when the police showed up, and then I saw somebody talking to the police, but they had like a rag on their face, so
Yeah.
I assume I was like,
Stopping
okay,
like the blood or whatever.
yeah, that was them. And then paramedics arrived, and then the paramedics left, I'm assuming with the person. And then the only other two people remaining were the two people that didn't live there.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody saying and then I stopped recording at this point, but I heard them say that the nose was broken, like completely broken.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh my god, dude, a broken nose out of all of that. And then after that, we never really heard them arguing again. And then I saw the dude was by himself for several weeks, and then the dude moved out. And then there was a new couple.
How did he
moved
not
in.
go to jail?
I have no idea.
We're assuming from the context of this conversation, he struck her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like, obviously she clearly got away. And then what did she was like, F you, I'm just not going to press charges, but just get out of my life.
Maybe she
I
just
hope
followed
so.
a restraining order against
Yeah.
him and was like, look, let's just not be together, and I'm just going to put a
That's
restraining
crazy
order
that
or
it takes
whatever.
to that level for someone to go, like, we shouldn't be together.
Hey, man.
That's crazy.
Some people just don't know any better, and sometimes they just feel trapped in certain situations. But the couple that moved in afterwards, they were like, the guy was 33, 34 with a decent job, and she was like, had like a part-time job somewhere, and like they just had their house and a nice little dog, and they weren't annoying. They didn't make any noise. Sometimes we didn't even know they were there. And then there were
Yeah.
times where sometimes they would leave for like 3 weeks, and they would come back because the guy has family in California or something, and so they would leave every now and again, like just to go visit.
That's cool.
So they were super chill after. We got really nice neighbors once the other couple moved out, but man, it was a fucking circus over there.
Dude, that's crazy. Isn't that crazy? Like, you don't know what happens in the house before you lived in it.
Yep.
People were shouting, fighting, hitting each other.
You have no
and now
idea.
you're sitting there like, this is my safe space.
Well, think about the Latona house. That house was like 100 years old. Think of all the people that lived in there.
Yeah.
Hell of fucking people. And then Judy, the next door neighbor, she was like, I lived through, she's lived in that one house for a long time. She had 2 houses.
Yeah, bro, she's probably cashing out now. What is the Latona house probably valued at? Like 1.2?
Something like that, yeah. I haven't checked recently, but the last time we checked,
check.
it was about, yeah, you can check right now if you want.
But I'm obviously
But-
not going to dox the full address. But
Right. But that house had so many people in it, and you can tell. I think I didn't realize it until after living there for a year and after like hearing stories about the types of people that lived in the house. Like the basement was used for concerts and parties like nobody's business. Like you could tell that they had shit set up there. So I can only imagine like the shenanigans and tomfoolery that was taking place in that house. It just had that feeling of like so many people had been here, and like so many realities were experienced in one
you
household.
said they had shows at the basement?
Yeah,
Honestly, I could see that.
yeah. Because you
dope.
know how like it was set up, they had like the little platform and stuff.
Yeah.
They would put speakers and shit, and like set up right on the back end behind, like back behind the laundry room, like not the laundry room, but like where the laundry machines were.
Uh-huh.
They would set up back there where my part of the bedroom was, and then they would have people.
Are they standing other or just the speakers? Because I would say that seems a little short for people to be standing.
Not there was only for speakers. There would be like bands
Okay.
on the lower part, like playing music, rock music and stuff.
It's off the market, so whoever owns it still owns it. It's 2,100 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. But
Yep.
obviously, you guys may do with more spaces to live.
Yep.
The Zestimate range is anywhere from 831 to 995. So it's
When it was listed, it
it's
was
valued at 912 grand.
when it was listed, I think it was 1.1 million when the last time it was actually on Zillow.
Yeah.
And either the old people who owned it took it off the market again because they're just renting it out and they didn't find a buyer, or somebody actually did buy it
Okay, so
because it was on Zillow for a while.
the last date that it was on the market is 8/25/2020. But I'm assuming when they were going to rent it out or they were trying to sell it, maybe?
I think they were trying to sell it and realized that renting it out in that spot was the best scenario.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you could cash out, for like 900 grand, whatever.
But obviously, the older generations are like,
they want to
no,
milk.
we're holding on it all. We're not
They
leaving
can't
until we
stop.
get 1.5 million.
Yeah, they can't stop milking their multi-million-dollar properties until they're actually just dead,
Yeah.
and then they won't spend the money.
Oh, check this out.
But it's a
Walk
nice
score,
house.
82%, very walkable. Transit score, excellent transit.
Literally
Bike
bus
score,
stop,
very bikeable.
right in front.
But like obviously knowing what I know about the house, I wouldn't buy it because I know where the leaks are and where the shortcomings in the house can be.
The only thing
and
is
it's a very odd setup if you really think about like from a house perspective. It is a very odd setup.
the only scenario that makes sense in my mind is you buy that house with the intent of building a new house.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
you've
for sure.
already got, $4 or $5 million ready to buy the house, level the house, redo the dirt on the lot, redo the basement, and then build another house on top of it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
for
to
sure.
have a couple million if you're going to be doing
'Cause
that.
what
But that's
was
the
the
only
house?
scenario that would make sense in my mind.
Yeah, because the house is the floor plan is very goofy.
Yeah,
the
I mean, because you
old-
have that weird entryway, and then
into the foyer,
the foyer.
the foyer, and then into the living room, and
Into
then
the living room.
kitchen that's sandwiched between the.
Yeah, and then you have the stairs to the basement in the kitchen next to the stove,
Also next to the door that was the side patio,
which
to, like,
nobody
walk out
ever
to the driveway.
used.
Yeah,
We just used the patio to put like the miscellaneous garbage
and then you have
stuff.
2 bedrooms basically in the kitchen,
Yes.
which is weird. And
So-
then you walk up, and there's that half door.
There's there's a little half like a grandma room or storage room, you could say. Basically that room was for the help. Like, in those times like they had the nanny or somebody living with them taking care of the babies.
Yeah,
That's what that room was for.
that crazy that like. Let's get into like property talk. Oh, 1919 is when it was built.
Yeah,
That
see,
makes
so
sense.
that's what I'm saying. The
So,
house
like,
is over 100
you would
years old.
honestly need to like
You need to renovate the whole thing. You
need to
can't just
renovate the
leave
whole
it
place.
there.
And be smarter about how far can you build to the front.
Because
I mean?
you have a lot of square
'Cause
footage
you
to
could
go there.
extend the house very far, and then just make it
Even
like
if
a
you
flat-faced wall.
even if you moved, like you could extend from the where the main window was, like behind the porch.
Yeah.
If you could move that out like 12 to 14 feet,
which you easily could
which
do.
you could do, and then that adds like 300 square feet already there.
I'd probably add honestly 6 because think about it, it'd be a second story still, so you'd have the face of the first floor.
Oh, if you
And then
continued
the
this, if
second
you
floor.
continued with the second story, yes. I'm just
Yes.
thinking. Sorry, if it was just the
No,
one.
yeah, I'm thinking full on like you're just building. Honestly,
Extension
it's
of
gonna
that.
sound shitty, but like just a gentrified looking house building. Mm-hmm. Probably fine angles or whatever.
Yeah,
It would
Jesus.
still be really nice.
it would be very nice, something like that.
But the only thing is, you'd get the riffraff that could maybe. Well, still was none since it's a chill, nice neighborhood. Mm-hmm. But you would hear more of the cars and stuff because
You'd be a little bit
obsessed.
closer. Yeah. The only thing to me is like the basement was so in such disarray that you would have to do the whole foundation and basement again, which is where I think most of the money
Yeah,
would go
and I
to.
think any appraisers of that property would know that. Like, one, remember the fucking the leak that would go from the downstairs bathroom behind the kitchen.
Oh my
And it
god!
would drip down into the basement.
It would drip into the basement. We had that leak, and
And
then
you know it's rotting everything from underneath the kitchen floor. to
because it's the
this-
old floor, like the old floor panels,
Yeah.
like above you.
Like that house, it's a cool house. I still don't know how I remember the exact address.
Like you could see the bottoms of the floors that people were walking on.
Yeah.
Like you could see the dust coming from those boards when people would walk over them.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And it's like, and then there was another leak where, you know, when you go down the stairs into the basement, you make a right, and it's like you there's one corner there was like the heater, and then the back corner where I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
If you go down the stairs and immediately look at the wall in front of you when you turn right, there's a huge crack coming from the corners of the ceiling,
Yeah.
all the way down to the floor. And when it would rain a lot, it would leak all over into that side of the basement.
Yeah, dude. I honestly, that house is probably not actually worth 900 grand.
Nah, it's
Especially
only
with the
because
fact
of the
that-
location.
Yeah.
It's where it's at. That's the only reason why it's worth so much.
And I want to go. I want to go back to travel in like the Pacific Northwest region. I don't know if I want to stay in or be in Seattle, just because I don't really care to, especially with the city that's that kind of like crazy.
Decrepit.
Yeah. But it is nice when you go somewhere and it's decently cold. There's like foliage in people's neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Whereas like here we don't really have that, you know? Like there's definitely something where like maybe Seattle in like maybe the 80s was probably the sickest. But also I think that's
Dude.
when Ted Bundy was going around.
Oh my God, yeah.
So being a dude in the 80s in Seattle is probably wicked. No, not
It's probably wicked. Jeez, man. Yeah, I think it's just the location of the place, and like this. I mean, the lot isn't. It's not like it's the biggest lot, but I think it's one of the best locations if you think about it, because it's right. It's 2 streets away from the freeway entrance. It's a 5-minute drive to the UW district. It's a 5-minute drive to Gasworks. It's a 8-minute drive to Fremont, and then, you know, you're centrally located. There's a QFC a 12-minute walk away, which is, you know, by car would take less time.
So like people in that neighborhood, are they working in the city? Like, because obviously it's not technically in Seattle, because the only thing that Seattle is the city of Seattle.
Yes.
Which people get that confused.
I think either they probably worked. These people were probably like, I mean, all those people were tech people, because that's where a lot of tech companies were at that time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those employees either were like working for Amazon, or maybe some of the other tech companies that were located in the downtown area. They had a lot of people, like, I would see a lot of what looked like engineers and like science people and like computer people, like commuting to like Google or, you know, another one of those, you know, tech campuses that they had.
So how far would that be from like?
It would be probably like a 15-20 minute drive.
That's not a bad drive at all.
No, because
unless traffic's really bad in Seattle, and I don't know which.
Even with bad like street traffic, the buses were still very consistent, because their transportation system is very good. But you could commute and take the bus and get to downtown in 15 minutes on a good day.
That's not bad at all.
And then on a bad day, it'd be probably
And
like
then on
25.
a bad day, your bus is hitting the brakes, but it's still going down the ice hill and pancaking cars.
Yeah, and you're running over people's vehicles. You just gotta hold on.
Dude, those videos are sick.
Yeah, they're funny to look at, but it's like, I already know the feeling. I already know what it would feel like if I was there witnessing it happen, because I was already there and I've seen it happen. And it's like, you're an idiot.
That sucks. Well, I mean, that's people that are trying to drive even though they say don't drive, but you're on the road anyways.
They're just stubborn, and they think that, oh, it's not really going to be that big a deal.
Or it doesn't apply to me because I'm cool and I'm me.
It's like, oh, but I can drive in the snow. I've driven in the snow, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Would the only thing that would stop that from happening is if people were chaining their tires, right? Because it puts pressure on the middle to dig into the ice.
I think chaining your tires may help, but at those angles that the hills are at, there's just no way for some of those hills like you're gonna do anything. Like, either the car just has to sit there, and you just have to wait until you can drive again, or you're gonna total your vehicle.
Yeah, and like life is hard enough as to like already like crashing your car.
Why would you take a chance?
Yeah, I wouldn't take a chance.
I only did it when I drove in the snow in Oregon. It wasn't like, there was a way, you know, there were certain roads you could take because it's a small town. Like, there was a path that you could take that was relatively flat, and you can get right across town to just about anywhere if you drive at the right speed. So it was manageable. Like, I was able to do it. There was only maybe like 3 or 4 times where I had genuine fear of not making it back home when I was driving in the snow, and it was only because There was a light that I got really lucky with, but it would if you caught the red on this light, it was like a bridge, but it was like it wasn't a flat bridge. It was kind of like one half of it was going uphill,
Yeah.
and then right when you reach the end of the bridge, you would like level off. You kind of keep going a bit and then go down the other side of the hill,
Yeah.
and then you go into where the neighborhoods are. That light, if you stopped your car there, it was at just the right angle where you wouldn't be able to move your car. Like I would not have been able to unstuck my car from that hill, and if I would have tried, I would have probably rolled back down and then not been able to get home. So every time I would be on my way back, I'd have to tackle this hill. And it was always like, I hope the light doesn't turn red while I'm going. But
Yeah.
it was so late at night that there were not many cars to change the light, so I would usually make it through.
Yeah.
There was only I think it was 2 times maybe that like the light was turning red, and then I stopped once, but I had to stop like halfway over the line because it had leveled the car out.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it hit green, I basically just floored it to catch as much like momentum.
Yeah.
And then the tires caught after they slid around, and then it like was enough force to push me over the top of the
That's
hill.
crazy.
So no, I would not live in the snow again. I would not deal with any of that shit again.
Yeah, fuck no. It's cool to
No.
travel like when it's like maybe it's like cold season. But,
Yeah,
like,
if you're
definitely not in
visiting,
the
if you're
snow.
visiting and you know you're gonna take a flight out of there, and it's like whatever,
Yeah, like deuces losers.
and then it's fine. But like if you're living in it and you're deciding to drive every day in the snow, unless you have a truck, you're an insane person.
Yeah, truck 4-wheel drive.
And I won't feel bad if your car hits another car or you get stuck.
Yeah.
So-
Dude. Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari
Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari is a big deal.
2025.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked on it.
That season, it's gonna
It
be.
makes me actually even want to be like a Ferrari fan / a Lewis Hamilton.
It makes me want Ferrari to actually not be griefed all the time.
Yeah.
Out of like wins and.
Like,
you
I
know.
still want Max to win because I want him to go for all those titles because it would be sick to watch the driver we like win all those titles and maybe three-way tie the championships
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
or even break it, which would be awesome
Uh huh.
because he's a Red Bull driver. I'm for it. And then obviously there's rumors that at the end of Max's career, he's going to go to Ferrari as well
Mhm.
because just that's what drivers do.
Everybody retires with Ferrari.
Everybody retires with Ferrari. They retire pissed off with Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, the fact that he did that, bro's going to Ferrari 2025. It makes me want to skip the season.
Yeah, I
And just
almost
go
want to
straight to
just.
the drama.
It almost makes me want to just write this one off
Yeah.
and be like, all right, we're all gonna race, but this doesn't count.
Yeah.
The next season is the one that
Because
counts.
also think about it. Where's Carlos Sainz going? Who's going to fill that seat at Mercedes? Lewis and Charles already have a good relationship. I would like to see Fernando Alonso go to Mercedes because he's already good friends with George Russell. And let's be real, I don't think Alonso's going to do anything great at Aston Martin, even though they had a great overhaul. It's the fact is you still have the window licker as your teammate.
Dude,
Dude's never going to contribute to the points.
never ever.
And we got to see who's going to be in the next seat for Red Bull. Because honestly, I really like Sergio Perez. I don't understand why he gets the next level of hate. But realistically, bro was fighting in the midfield in one of the most successful cars, the most successful Formula One car ever made.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been up there, basically pulling second place every race.
He should have been up there more, and I'm a little disappointed, I could say, about the consistency of his performances. But then again, you have to understand that one, racing at that level is already extremely difficult, but with the added pressure of like you have the GOAT as your teammate and you have someone who's like unequivocally cared about more than you,
Yeah.
that's gonna like affect your mental to some degree. You know what I mean?
But also, like, when you know you're in that scenario, like, I get these guys have the mentality of, I want to be number one. I want to be number one.
Yeah.
So, like, if I was Sergio, I'd call Valtteri up and be like, hey, man,
How did you do it?
how did you do it? How do you do it? And it's like, at that point, I don't know. Maybe because I'm just a normal guy. Obviously, I have my normal financial struggles, like X, Y, and Z income,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, dude, okay, I'm in the top team right now. My contract's really good. I'm making money enough to provide for me and my family and to maybe fund whatever other endeavors outside of the sport eventually that are going to come.
Yeah.
Because actually the crazy thing is like when you're in your peak performance, that's the smallest part of your life, right?
Oh yes, yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Right. You're at your peak for the smallest amount of time.
Yes. So it's like he's got to just be like, all right, I got to strike while the iron's hot. At this point, there's so many good drivers and so many number one drivers that like.
At this point, he's got to get his more than he's getting got,
Yes, exactly.
and he's not really like getting his because he's getting got.
Yes, he's allowing himself to get got. So it's like, dude, just tough it out.
Yeah.
You know, bro, maybe you'll sign with one of the bottom teams at some point just to stay in the sport.
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't get it.
Because you're a good fucking driver.
He's a good driver, and it's like I would hate.
He has some of the best fights over the past 2 seasons with like the Ferraris when they're pushing each other and they're going through chicanes and shit. Like some of the most exciting race moments have been Sergio Perez.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
But like he's got to either figure it out, lock in, or whatever. You know, like.
Yeah, buddy's got to push his glasses up and lock the fuck in.
Or like I would even like to see him get signed to.
Even if he gets signed to Alfa Romeo,
Dude,
like, if Valtteri retires, because he's like, all right, I'm done, and then Sergio goes over there. I mean, I would still root for him.
I'd always root for Sergio on the grid. I would like to see maybe like a Fernando Alonso, Sergio Perez, although that's an older driver lineup, but that'd be sick.
I would say this is like
Stroll's got to get out of there regardless.
Regardless, Stroll's got to leave. I think the other person who's just got to leave is Esteban Ocon. He's just got to go. In my mind, I just don't like him.
I don't really like him.
But if
either.
both of those losers went, Sergio would have a great chance of being in either one of those teams and then still surviving and like putting up a good fight for points. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like so much of a downgrade. He would still have a car that could do something.
Yeah.
And he would, be in the top 10. He wouldn't be winning races or getting second place.
Or maybe just the way that car is built would be easier
Who knows?
for him to drive.
What if he gets really lucky? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I just can't see Sergio being not given a drive in 2025.
Yeah. I think he'll still be on the grid. I just don't think he'll be at Red Bull.
Not anymore, no. It'll be
also,
really tough for him to stay.
Who goes to Max Verstappen second, though?
That's the thing.
I know Alex Albon, there's rumors, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much confirmed that he has like a 3-year contract that Red Bull has on the table for him. But does he want to go back to that, knowing that
that's the thing?
You're not going to be the number one driver ever, and you're probably not going to be the world champion.
Yeah, that's the only issue. I mean, Alex Albon would be one option. The other option that I've seen thrown around for whatever reason, which is I think it's kind of weird, is Lando Norris.
Mm-hmm.
I kept seeing that.
Christian
Horner,
Norris to Red Bull?
Yeah.
I keep seeing that too.
Christian Horner kept being, sweet on him and kept like, asking him and trying to talk to him a certain way and just to kind of see what he's thinking. You know what I mean? And I think it'd be a okay idea, maybe not the best pairing, because both of those guys want to be the number one for sure. You have to look at it realistically in terms of like, do I want to have two teammates that are really good and are going to get a fuckload of points, but they're going to be fighting all the time on the track and potentially wasting races?
Yeah.
Or do I want a compliant second driver who's pretty damn good, but not good enough to be getting in Max's way? That's where it becomes difficult. You know what I mean?
That's the problem. Yeah, for sure.
Because everyone knows the Red Bull's going to slap.
Yeah.
So they're going to want to take their chance. But it's like, if you're just going to cause more problems than you are going to be helping the team,
yeah,
you're going to be fighting with Max more than actually helping us win, it's not going to be worth it for them.
Yeah. And plus, everybody knows that Red Bull is Max's team for now because think about it, he's a 3-time world champ.
Yeah, they're not going to change
They're
their
not going to
ways
change up
for
the
anybody
fucking formula.
else. Right.
They're just going to make the car better. Max spends more time in the sim across all sims where it's GT racing, Le Mans,
whatever,
for his own Formula 1 racing. Like, that dude lives and breathes motorsport. That's all he does.
Exactly.
But, like, you got to know that you got to just sign a fat deal, get in there, do your part. But again, these guys are all, like, drivers that have been driving their whole life. So, like, obviously it's not logical for them to be like, oh, I'll lay down and be number 2.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know. Ferrari 2025, you have the strongest driver lineup. Charles Leclerc, which has, I think, his contract till 2029.
Yeah, they keep signing him for like hella.
He's the face of Ferrari.
Right.
Young, handsome.
Handsome as
he's one of the
fuck.
fastest across one lap, right?
Yeah, he's good.
He's one of the quickest drivers on the grid.
Yep.
Clearly, the Ferrari car itself can't keep up with him.
Right.
You have Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion.
Mm-hmm.
not an 8-time world champion. People,
7-time
times.
world champion.
Yeah,
Yep.
7 times.
Yep.
And he's there for like the lulls. I'm here, like I want to drive Ferrari. It's a new thing, X, Y, and Z. Charles Leclerc is clearly still going to be number one unless something happens to where Lewis is just scoring way more points than him. Because at this point, the Ferrari's just trying to buy a world
They're trying to buy a win, basically.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. Where do you see who goes to Red Bull? We don't know.
We don't know.
Who fills the seat at Mercedes? Definitely not Mick Schumacher, even though I know he's like, Toto, please. Probably. Why wouldn't you be?
He's literally backing them.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I
don't think Mick will ever see the grid again.
I have a feeling that they're going to try and squeeze him in at some point just for the namesake. But I don't think he's got another chance, realistically, if I'm being
it's not
honest.
like the Mercedes is really that good.
I mean, he can always be a reserve driver, which would be cool because he'll always be around. But
Yeah.
I think the chances now of him returning are next to none.
Yeah. Because even then, you have so many driver contracts up at the end of 2025, right?
Right.
Plus, like, is Haas going to keep the boys on? What about Sargent? Sargent's contract ends 2025 as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. If he can't have a better season this time around, then I don't think they would sign him again.
Yeah.
I don't think they will. I think James Vowles wants to give him a second chance just because he just believes in the underdog. But at some point, you have to realize that, like, you can't put all your chips down on something like that.
Yeah.
When you want to pick the team up off, the shit step that they were on before.
At some point, Williams just has to sell themselves to Andretti.
No, I say keep Williams, but I say sell Haas.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, for sure.
Sell
I'm
Haas.
honestly a big hater of Haas. Dude.
It's just because I like James Vowles, that he's the team principal for Williams. He's a cool guy. Like, he really gives a shit about the team, and he, like, actually wants to make them better. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather see Williams become a not shit team.
Yeah.
And then more than that, I'd rather see Haas become Andretti, because Haas refuses to innovate. They refuse to upgrade any of their facilities. They refuse to spend more money on parts. Like,
yeah.
There's no point in having the team anymore. They're not adding anything to the sport. So
yeah,
I don't
they're
understand.
just dragging in the back.
Exactly. So I don't understand why they want to hold hands with Haas and let them be a shit team, but they don't want to let someone in who's, like, literally has their cock hard to be on the grid.
Yeah, and already has an engine supplier, already has all their shit ready. They actually know motorsport. Whereas, like, I'm saying, yeah, maybe Haas is, but he's mostly big in NASCAR or
no. Haas is that brand is for, like, those. How do I explain it? I don't even know what the name of those machines are, but it's like the high tech machines that are in, like, warehouses and stuff where they, like, machine parts.
Yeah,
like, that's what he makes. It's like a brand of big ass machines.
Oh, is that what it is? I know there's sponsorships in other motorsports too.
Yeah,
but it's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. You're not gonna.
He's just a greedy old ass fucking boomer, dude.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to sell his team for less than $1 billion. He doesn't want to share stakes of his team with other investors. He wants all the money. Like, that's why I commented on that one post. I was like, Gene Haas is the equivalent of a boomer who does not want to sell his house that he bought for $40K for less than $1 million, and he probably won't ever sell his house. Nothing will happen to the house until the dude is dead and buried in the ground.
Yeah,
like, it's just one of those situations. He's just a greedy ass old bastard.
Yeah. And he's just weighing it down. And I hate when they try to take the whole, like, American team. Oh, this is the home race for Haas or whatever. It's like,
no, it's not.
No,
Shut
bro,
the fuck up.
Get out of here. Like, Haas was a fucking energy drink company team. It was a Russian team.
They dealt with all these fucking scammers. And weird, shady ass fucking people.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna accept them as a genuine American works team.
They literally, I think Haas posted, like, oh, which one of our liveries did you guys like the best? And they completely skimmed over the fucking Russian one.
Oh, yeah.
And then the energy one.
Yeah.
Was it an energy drink or an actual?
Yeah, it was Rich Energy.
Yeah, Rich Energy. It's like, one, the Haas looked the best in Rich Energy.
Yeah, the
Two,
black
it looked
and gold.
the worst in the Russian thing because it, like, literally said, what was the company?
Eurocali.
Yeah, it just looked not awesome. You know what I mean?
It looked not awesome. That's a good way. Yeah.
Like, and they didn't post anything. All the comments were just flaming Haas. Like, oh, you guys left out the Rich Energy and the Russian one. Da, 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 da,
That's
da.
crazy.
It's like interesting. That's crazy. You guys are trying to make us forget your heritage. No,
Right.
we're
And
not going to forget about your little Russian driver
it's
that
just
sucked.
it's just lame and it's corny that they want to choose to call that the American team. And I think this is just my conspiracy brain going off here. But I think the reason they do it is because F1 is a European sport,
Yeah,
and I think that having a team masquerade as an American works team
and that sucks.
that sucks. They like get off on the fact that like, haha, this is the American team and they're fucking trash.
Yes.
So we're not gonna let in a genuine American team that's
I
probably gonna
agree.
kick our ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're gonna get fucking clowned on probably. So I don't know. I think it's just some sick like political
I
thing.
honestly 100% agree. I think they just don't want an actual real American team to come in with a real American engine
Because they're gonna get smoked,
because
bro.
we're gonna figure the sport out in 5 years, and you're only gonna hear the U.S. national anthem, or if we have any American drivers that actually
You're gonna
can
hear.
drive.
Yep.
I think that's really what it is. The Europeans don't want the Americans to get in and dominate it.
They just don't want the competition, and so that's, you know, that's why I'm salty, and that's why I just don't like Haas. The only reason I was supporting Haas back then was because Mick Schumacher was on the team,
Yeah.
and also because Gunther Steiner was the team principal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. You drop Gunther Steiner. Now it's like there's even less reason for people to even like Haas.
Yeah, no one cares about that team anymore. He was the reason why people were interested in
He
the
was
team.
more famous than the drivers.
They showed him more on Drive to Survive
Yeah,
than
exactly.
they did the
And
two
he's
pilots.
funny. He's funny as shit. He's got a sense of humor. He just say shit where like you're like, oh, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah, he was a great guy. So I think, yeah, that's my opinion on that. I just, disappointed.
I don't know if this is a hot take yet, but I think the Kick Sauber or whatever the fuck the car is, I think it looks the coolest on the grid so far.
Oh, yeah. It took
Clearly, it
me-
looks like a gamer designed it, but like, it's cool. It's interesting. How many cars do we have that are dark colors, blacks, reds, whites?
with the bright ass green.
Now we have a bright ass green with the black. I think it looks sick.
I think it looks sick, and and I'm putting mad respect on the name because they actually went out of their way to make something different and something that stands out.
Yes.
Whereas like every year the teams keep the same exact colors and they change maybe one slight little design. It's like, look how crazy and cool this is. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, you just recycled a drawing that a concept you guys had for probably 10 years in the drawer.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything original. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
I think that I watched
But
the video. on it
F1
yesterday.
steak is good.
They, I think it's a pull rod design, front and back now.
Well, it's a pull rod in the front, push rod in the back.
No, they're both the same now. So now that when they under braking and speeding, the car will go up less and down less.
Oh, pretty sure it was
Closer to like an anti-squat, but like, you know,
yeah, I thought they were reversed.
no, I mean, it depends on what the company makes. But now it's the same on both sides. And then their pillar now is changed, like the little air intake up top or whatever.
Oh yeah, because
It's the
Guan
A-pillar
Yu
thing now? Not
because
the-
Guan Yu Zhou's got fucked up the one race where he flipped over and
Yeah.
it failed.
Yeah.
And it didn't balance the car out or keep it from rolling over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it failed, so they had to redesign the whole top.
Yeah. So the car actually looks like pretty solid, and like
Yeah.
the side pods are more Red Bull design. You know,
So
like I'm excited to see obviously all the cars. I'm sure the Ferraris will be either like a matte red or a
yeah,
slightly shiny red.
Uh-huh.
Red Bulls is probably not going to change. Mercedes is, we know it's black,
never gonna change.
never going to change. Like,
No,
I think Sauber will have the coolest.
Yeah,
Obviously,
unless
the
they
lead
get
up to-
another sponsor somehow from some other place where they have an actual weight in the argument for the color scheme. It's not. There's never gonna be like a different color change unless McLaren decides to do like the all silver with the secondary papaya orange.
Yeah,
There's no way a team is gonna change
I don't
their
think
colors.
because I know Ferraris is next week. I don't know when Red Bulls is.
It'll be
but
the same exact red as it was last year.
I don't think anything's really going to change.
No.
I think the green will stick out on the grid, and like little kids in F1 will see that and be like, I like that car.
I think F1 should do yellow primary with red secondary.
Who?
Ferrari.
Ferrari. That would be sick.
If they did it like yellow primary, maybe black secondary with red as the third color,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I'm just
I know
at
they
this
do
point
that
I'm
for
just
their home
spitballing
race.
ideas,
I
but
know
yeah.
they do that for their home race sometimes, don't they? Or like an anniversary.
Sometimes they for their anniversaries or something they change the livery to something that's actually cool. But Yeah, they're not really going to change much, I don't think.
What would you like to see? Okay, so like from a just straight up random, what would you like to see as like the new Red Bull livery? Because clearly they're going to keep the
I
same
want to see
livery
the old
through their
Toro
whole
Rosso.
dominant one.
I want to see the old Toro Rosso where it's the main color was silver, and then the secondary colors were red, yellow. Oh no, were blue, yellow, and black,
Which
and
era?
red.
Are you talking about like the Sebastian Vettel era?
The Sebastian Vettel era
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
of the Toro Rosso, like silver
Uh huh.
primary with the other three colors as the secondaries.
I think with what it is, my theory with the Red Bull not changing their livery, I think they just want their car to look the same throughout their dominant era, because they know they have this shit locked till the new regulations, pretty much.
I agree. I think they're gonna want to keep it consistent for like pictures and stuff, and just being able to say that like this era of car was this specific design, and that was like something that's recognizable.
Yeah.
Because if they win 3 races with like a certain style and color, and then they continue to win races with like a whole different style and color, I could see how that could be confusing.
Yeah.
When like people are looking at the history of the team and they're like, wait a second, is this the same car? Why does it look the same, but why does it look different?
Yeah, 100%.
So,
But I'm excited to see what the top end cars look like, because clearly
yeah,
the lower end teams are just getting cars that looked like the good cars of the last couple years. What are the current
top tier looking like.
what are the current top teams? Like, let's put Mercedes in there, Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren's coming up,
Mhm.
and then let's just put Alfa Romeo in there. I don't know.
Right.
What are the top end cutting edge team cars going to look like if there even are going to be any changes? Like, I wonder what cool shit they're going to come out with.
I bet you it's going to look exactly the same.
I guarantee it is.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to add hype.
I know.
How long have we been
You and
going
I are hyped off of it.
for? Oh yeah. I'm excited even if the car looks the same. Fucking loser.
We're at a minute. Lol. We're at an hour and 12 minutes.
All right, I think it's time to put a bow on her, put her to bed.
Yep. Well, thank you for listening. This was a pretty good episode.
It was like a half hater, half F1 episode.
Yeah, Huskies are by far the worst fucking dog in existence. Just want to say that. But yeah, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one, guys. And those little white ones are terrible.
Oh yeah, don't
Little
even
white
get me
ones.
fucking
Oh my God,
started.
don't even start. All right, cut the episode.
All right, yeah, bye.